Well, hey, Philagelos, it's me here, and we're on Q&A number 9. And today's question, two questions actually. I'll knock them both out because these are pretty basic questions, really. Kevin Richerson, there's a lot of questions that artists like me we get a lot, and they're sort of basic questions, but Kevin sent these in. I'm gonna answer them for him. So we'll get through these quick here. All right. So his first question is, what if the universe isn't expanding, but rather that it's becoming more and more dense? What is the Chandrasekhar limit of the universe, the point at which everything falls back on in itself? The Chandrasekhar limit is the maximum mass of a stable white dwarf star, which they currently think is 1.4 solar masses. He said it's an ignorant way to put it, to be sure, to be honest, but at the same time, it's the easiest way to describe it. I agree. In this hypothetical, the outer barriers of the universe, the point at which the edges exist, they're not, nor have they ever increased in their observed distance from each other if they were being viewed from the outside. So this is a hypothetical that he's talking about here. It is very hypothetical because the edges of the universe have never actually been observed due to the limits of the speed of light. We can't actually observe anything that's more than 13.8 billion light years away. And so edges as a concept of the universe may not even exist, because whatever is outside of the universe, current theoretical research says could be up to 11 dimensions. And so the idea that edges even exist, that might not even be a thing. There might not be anything that we would know as edges. I wrote down some of my thoughts here. That's why I'm looking at my notebook here. But let's take the theoretical in mind then. So since current thinking seems to think that the expansion of the universe is based on dark matter, and that possibly dark matter can create more of itself as it expands, as it stretches, which is why the density of the universe hasn't changed, it's possible then that as the pressure on the dark matter at the edges of the universe increases, that dark matter has a way of destroying itself and relieving that pressure. That's one possibility. The other possibility is that as that dark matter flows to the edges, it then could flow up or down or into one of those other 11 dimensions, much in the way that the opposite coasts of an ocean, where heat and warm water and cold water move in different directions, and that creates that cycle of the ocean. So I think those are the two possibilities about the edges of the universe, if edges even exist. So Kevin's second part to this question, not related. It's the second question, I guess, but we'll knock them both out. Like I said, these are, basic questions that I have to answer all the time in interviews. He says, if there is no such thing as the firmament as described in the Bible, it says that the earth, moon, and sun and the other planets are surrounded by a barrier of water, then what would you call the Oort cloud other than a barrier of icy, frozen water and other liquid bodies, icy bodies, where comets come from, which surrounds the entire solar system in a spherical shape? And that's okay. All right. So the Oort cloud, also theoretical, hasn't actually been observed. So we don't know if it's actually there, but theory says that that's where comets come from, this big icy cloud that surrounds our solar system, but unobserved so far. And I think we might have proof pretty soon here with the satellites that they've got out roaming around. But as far as the biblical description of the firmament, first of all, the Bible is a work of historical fiction, and like any fictional creative project that incorporates parts of actual reality is going to once in a while get something right. In the same way that we can look back at Simpsons episodes and go, "Oh wow, look, the Simpsons predicted whatever it is." So historical fiction that is futuristic historical fiction is somehow, once in a while, going to get something correct. So, anyway, of course, those aren't basic questions. I've never answered those before, but I did have thoughts on them because I like reading about this stuff. And so, thanks, Kevin. Those were fun questions to answer. And that is Q&A number 9, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.